Good morning, everyone. I hope you are all having a wonderful Friday. My name is Carly Bell, and welcome to Sip and Stitch. This is a video that I like to do every month where we get together and do usually a machine embroidery project from start to finish. And I have my coffee. I have not finished it yet this morning because everything's just been all kinds of stuff going on in the house here, but getting ready for today's video is very exciting. And I also have a bunch of other stuff that I'm decided I'm going to do and I've been getting ready for as well. So just want to say hi and good morning. I'm so glad you're here. I see Dee from Kentucky. Hi, Jenny, Tina, Debbie, Paula, Brenda. I hope y'all are all having a great Friday. Lots been going on here. I live in southern Louisiana, pretty much in New Orleans, and we celebrate Mardi Gras here. And it's not just a one-day thing. It's like a good month and a half, 2 months. This year it's 2 months because Mardi Gras, it falls on a different day every year. And we start celebrating pretty much January 6th. Is the Epiphany, and we call it King's Day, and we start eating king cake officially on January 6th, and then actual Mardi Gras is on March 4th this year. But parades and all kinds of fun things have been going on, and I bought all this cute Mardi Gras clothes, so I have I need to wear my festive stuff for today's video. I got my king cake earrings. But I figured I'd get all dressed up in my Mardi Gras gear since this is our video tutorial right before Mardi Gras. However, we will be celebrating a different holiday. In today's class, we are going to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day or St. Patty's Day and making a cute decorative banner that you can hang. Like I'm probably going to hang mine from my pegboard, or I can also hang it on my fireplace mantle. So we have parades and celebrations for St. Patrick's Day here in New Orleans as well. So it's like Mardi Gras continued. But this is the project we're going to do today. I was looking at Mardi Gras projects, but I figured not everyone celebrates Mardi Gras. So let's make something cute for our house that, almost everyone celebrates, or you can find cute decorations for and do some fun things in your house. So that's what we are going to be making today. It's a in the hoop project. It's great for a beginner. If you've never done it in the hoop project before, this should be no trouble for you at all. Just follow along with me. I'm going to show you all my tips and tricks so that you can get a beautiful finished little banner. The one thing with this project, though, is that each 4-leaf clover is one hooping. So you see, I've done 2 already. I actually did 3, but I messed up 1, so we're going to toss that one out. But I'm probably going to end up making about 6 of them. So that's going to be 6 different hoopings. So this is fun in that it's easy, but also that you can continue making more and more, and you can make it as long or as short as you want. So it can accommodate, any length. All right. So let's see. Yay! Janelle's like, I caught alive. Yay! I'm so glad you're here. Good morning, Vicki and Marissa. I see everyone. So yay, I'm so glad y'all are here. So a couple things I want to talk about before we get started on today's project is I have a bunch of other things going on that I'm very excited about. One of them, I literally decided yesterday or day before yesterday, we're going to start a whole new sew along project. I've been wanting to do this for forever, and I got an email from Kimberbell, and I've been noticing this, and I've been trying to stay on top of it, but it's probably good that I don't stay on top of it because then my wallet will get smaller and smaller. But Kimberbell has been having deals of the week, and on those deals of the week, sometimes they have a great deal on one of their feature quilts or hanging quilts, which I have been dying to do. I actually bought a set before. I got 2 sets now. Haven't done any of them yet. And I was talking with my friend Carol, and I'm like, the only way I'm going to get these things done is if I do them with y'all, and we make videos and go live making each of the quilt blocks. So this week, I get an email from Kimberbell with their weekly newsletter about the daily deal. And this week's deal is called the Oh So Delightful quilt. Let's see, I got a picture of it. Where is it? Here. Okay. Tell me that is not the cutest thing you have seen and would be a perfect addition to hang up in your craft room or wherever in your house that you have your sewing machine. Like, wouldn't that be beautiful to be hanging up on the wall behind your machine or in the space that you craft? I love it. So, this week's daily deal, and I learned this when I bought my first quilt from them. There's a lot of pieces when it comes to doing a project like this, and a lot of costs, unfortunately, which has made me hesitant to get one in the past. But you see this beautiful quilt. One of the things you need in order to the first thing you need in order to accomplish this is all of the embroidery designs. So each one of these blocks is actually one hooping. It's all done in the hoop on your embroidery machine. Every single block is done in the embroidery machine. And you even quilt that, like that you see that ruler sashing and that teal blue outer border. All of that is done on the embroidery machine as well. And then we piece it all together on the sewing machine. But the first thing you need is all the designs. And those usually come with like a beautiful booklet of printed instructions and a CD with all of those designs on them. Then, if you look closely at the quilt, there is what they call background quilting designs on each block, and like the ruler on the sashing, and they got some pretty quilting on the border. Those are all separate. Those are called background quilting. It's a separate purchase, doesn't come with all of your embroidery designs. And then we have the fabric. And then the last thing is something called the embellishments, which, if you look closely at the quilt, they have these buttons. There's actual pins in the pin cushion. They use different kinds of beautiful, like velvet fabrics in some places, or faux leather fabrics. There's lots of fun things on it when you look real close, that are kind of 3D effects. So you have embellishments. All those things add up to be fairly expensive, which is why I've held back from getting feature quilts in the past, or I've only purchased just the machine embroidery designs. Well, the deal of the week for Kimberbell this week was the booklet with all of the embroidery designs. So it comes in a pretty printed book with all the instructions, and the CD with the embroidery designs. And it comes with all the background quilting designs, and it comes with the embellishment kit. So you get all those things. So the only thing it doesn't come with is the fabric. And all of that is on sale for $99, which is usually a smidge more than just what the embroidery designs themselves cost. So in my opinion, it's a really good deal. So of course I bought it on Wednesday. I think when I saw it, I'm like, oh yes, I need this. So I bought it, and then I'm like, you know what? The only way I'm gonna make this is if we do it together, if y'all keep me accountable. So I'm like, let's have a sew along, let's do it. So that is my big, exciting project that I would like to start next month. I don't have a game plan totally together yet, but what I want to do is tell you, first off, if you want to do this with me, go grab that while it's still on sale. I believe the price goes up to almost like $200, not on sale. So go grab that. In the meantime, or lots of friends I've noticed in the Facebook group already have this, and they just haven't gotten started on it yet. So good for you if you already have it. But if you don't, go grab it while it's on sale. I don't know when the sale ends. I'm guessing tonight or tomorrow. I don't know when their new weekly deals start, if they start on a Sunday or a Monday. So today's Friday. What is it? February 21st. So I'm guessing they'll end probably tomorrow. Then I am going to send out an email to see who's interested in doing it with me. And then I'll make a separate little email list of just people that are interested. And so only they will get updates on when we're having the classes. But I'm hoping it will start in March, when I get all my supplies in, and we'll have a video once a week. So I haven't figured out what day I'm going to do it and what time, but stay tuned for an email from me with more information on that if you would like to participate. And if you are not already on my email list, I think I have a link somewhere in the description box below this video where you can get added on to the email list. So very excited about that. Oh, so delightful. Big feature quilt. I'm going to finish it. Y'all are gonna make me finish it. This is the only way. Okay. Other fun projects we're gonna do in March is a collaboration I am doing with Melissa at Designs by Little Bee. She came up with this adorable little in the hoop zippered bag, but what I love about it is it has a clear pocket front. So this is perfect. Elise has already claimed this. It's perfect for her to put her school ID in here and zip it up, and then she can clip it to her lanyard for school. But another great thing about it for anyone who needs something with the clear vinyl where they can put their ID in is here. And then the way it's made is it has a pocket behind it. So you can put all your other cards, money, stash, anything you need here, behind it that won't be seen. And you can use a really fun fabric if you want for your divider here, like I did, so that you could see it through the vinyl if you don't have anything you need to put in here, say for right now. But fun little zippered bag, can be used on a lanyard to hold an ID or just in your wallet to have your license on the front, so you could just pull it out your purse and show it without having to take it out. We are going to be doing a tutorial on this, Melissa and I together. I was supposed to have a date figured out before I started this video and I forgot. So I'm debating on having it, I think it might be March 14th or 13th. Okay, stay tuned. I have to give Melissa a day. But the cool thing about this project is Melissa is making fabric and hardware kits ready to go so that you can buy it from her. She's going to mail you everything you need to make this zippered case. And then you tune in for the live tutorial. You have all your stuff ready to go and you can stitch it along with us. I don't know what she's got, a whole assortment of fabrics and cute notions and things like that. So you'd have to go to her website to see what the fabric, the kit options are, but I'm sure they're going to be super cute. But stay tuned for more info on that. As soon as I have a link to Melissa's website and a date for our tutorial, I will post that info and definitely send out an email. Another reason to be subscribed to the newsletter so you don't miss out on that. But this will be fun because you can buy the kit and then you can sew it with us. All right. So, okay, those were my two big announcements. I think I'm done. Well, let's start stitching. All right. So today's project is St. Patty's Day themed. And I love making things that we can, like, my kids are kind of over me making shirts for them. So now I'm like, well, I'm making stuff for me. I like all the cute embroidered decoration things for around my house. So when I saw this on Etsy, I thought it was adorable. Now I did change all the links already, but the first time I sent out an email telling you this was the design that we were doing, I personally bought it from Etsy. But the day, of course, I sent the email telling all of y'all, hey, go grab this at Etsy if you want to do it with me. The shop said the design was sold out. So, but I emailed the owner of the shop and she fixed it, but it was a while later. But in the meantime, one of my followers pointed out, hey, she has her own website. So I think it's called, I already lost it. Big Embroidery. Was it Big Bow Embroidery? I can't remember. Let me go look at it so I don't say the wrong thing. But the link I have for you is directly to her website now. and it's Big Dreams Embroidery. And looking at her website, she has a ton of cute banner designs. So we can go back here and get some more Easter spring or summer, or when the fall comes and we have all our holidays and seasons. You can make, a whole array of different banners with all the cute designs she has on her website. So when you go, if you go and get this, look and see all the other stuff that she has there. It's really cute. So the link now is directly to her website, so you shouldn't have any trouble of it selling out, because I know that's an issue sometimes on Etsy. Even though it's digital, they make you put an inventory on there when you're um, setting up your shop and everything. Thanks, Patty. She reminded me too. Big Dreams Embroidery. All right, so everything you need to know about today's project is on the Sip and Stitch homepage, and I can show that to you quickly. Crazy. Okay, here is my website. It's just carlybell.com. Whenever you go to it, they should have a menu at the top, or if on your phone, I think they have like 3 little stack lines you click. But basically, you can scroll until you find this picture, Sip and Stitch Morning Edition. If you click on that, that's going to bring you to what I call the Sip and Stitch homepage. And here at the top, I updated our spring schedule. I know the last couple emails I had, I keep forgetting this typo with the dates, but I've corrected it here. So here are all the dates for up until May of what will be the date we'll be getting together. It's usually always at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and the project we're going to be doing. So you can know ahead of time for the rest of the spring. And then if you scroll down, it's going to show you the latest project. And so here's our 4-leaf clover banner. And here are all of the supplies that I'm using in today's project, with links to things that I can link, and then just some more information here on the bottom. But when I say Sip and Stitch homepage, this is what I mean. It literally gives you everything you need. I try to put all this in the description box below the videos, but depending on Facebook and YouTube, they don't let me have that many words or that many links. So this is your go-to place for all of that. And if you scroll, you'll see, this was January's in the hoop. So keep scrolling, you find older Sip and Stitches, but the most recent one will be at the top. So that is where all the supplies are located if you can't find the description box under the video, because sometimes it's weird and you think you're clicking the right thing, but you're not. Just go to the website. So let's go over the supplies. So once you have the design from Big Dreams Embroidery, you're going to download it. You're going to unzip it, which usually all you have to do is double click it, and then a new folder is going to pop up. And it comes in multiple sizes. So if you have a machine where the biggest embroidery field is only 4 by 4 inches, you're going to pick the 4-inch Clover. That's the biggest you can do on your machine. There's also a 5-inch and a 6-inch. I'm going to do the 5-inch Clover, but they're all exactly the same, just different sizes. And today I'll be showing you this project on my Brother PE800, which has a max embroidery field of 5 by 7. This is a great starter machine for anyone just getting into embroidery and doesn't want to spend a lot of money, wants to see if they like it first. The model I have is actually discontinued now, and they came out with a newer version called the PE900. It's almost exactly the same, except it has some really nice updates to it, including cutting jump stitches, which is really a big deal in my opinion. So I think that's a beautiful upgrade, and it also has wireless capabilities. I'm actually thinking about buying a PE900 to teach with. So if you have a PE900 and would like to see me have videos specifically on that machine, let me know in the chat or in the comments. And I'm thinking about buying one, because I like to have, the newest things to teach on. But I know tons of people have this machine, or even the older one, which is the 770. Okay, so you have your design, then supplies. Let me switch you over here. All right, so here at my craft table, the design. Okay, I got my 5 by 7 hoop, and the stabilizer I'm using I got stuff in the way here. Sew and wash. This is what's called a woven wash away stabilizer. This feels kind of like poly mesh if you have that one. It's it's pretty strong. It doesn't necessarily tear. You can if you pull really hard on it, but it doesn't rip like paper, like tear away. But what is cool about it, it is completely dissolves in water when you're done. Because with this project, you see the edges, you can use a tearaway with this project. However, I always tend to see pieces of tearaway in the outer edge of the stitching, and I prefer not to. So I like to use a wash away so that it really completely dissolves all the stabilizer in there. So if you want to do this project, you don't have this in your sewing room, but you have tearaway, go ahead and use that. But in the future, I would invest in some wash away so that when you do projects like these, you really have a nice clean edge. It's great for in the hoop projects, also for freestanding lace, it's needed. So this is the stabilizer I'm using. I get the pre-cut sheets from the brand I like is Stay Perfect. I get it from Sewing Machines Plus. They have several options of different sizes, and they also have it in rolls. So you can get what works best for you. This particular sheet works well for me because I like to do 2 layers of it. So I will actually fold this in half and hoop it like that. So you see this one is my piece for a 4x4 hoop. I'll fold that in half and put that in a 4x4 hoop. So 2 layers of wash away stabilizer. This here. All right, so that's all you need for this portion of it, because one of the things I love about in the hoop projects is that you don't have to hoop anything. You don't have to figure out placement. All you're doing is putting your stabilizer in your hoop like that. Okay, now as far as the rest of the materials needed is your fabric. And I got some choices for you as well about the project. So you can have a lot of fun with this, and you can do all different variations of green fabrics. I went and collected a bunch out of my stash, and I was like, oh, these would look good together. These would look good together. So I've decided to alternate fabric so that I have something different on the inside, and then have like a pattern going. So like if I go in this direction, I'll do another one like this here, and then I'll do another one like this here, and kind of alternate. You also need fabric for the back, and I thought it would be fun if I kept the same fabric for the back. So say maybe in the future, I have it this way one year, I could turn it around and hang it this way the next year. I can alternate these fabrics as well. So you have the option of doing 3 different fabric types for that one clover. So have fun with it, play around with it. In the picture on the Big Dreams Embroidery page, I love they did like white as the background and then green. And they had like just some solids that also looked really pretty. You can combine the solids with patterns. Lots of fun you can have with this. But essentially you need 3 pieces of fabric, one for the inner, one for the outer, and then one for the back. Now, some other options for you are to keep this fabric stiff, or if you want to give your clover some structure, there are several things that you can use to help with that. What I did with this one was I used something called Shape Flex or Pellon SF101. You can buy like a small piece of this at the fabric store, like in a roll, or I went ahead and invested in a bolt a while back because I'll actually be using this when we do that oh so delightful quilt. So I ironed Shape Flex on the back of my fabric that is going to be the outer clover. And you can also iron it on the back of your back fabric, just to give it a little bit more structure. It's a woven interfacing that's fusible on one side, and so it just feels like a woven cotton on the other side. Another option is using something like flexi foam, which is exactly what it sounds like, a foam, a thin foam sheet that you can put. You can use batting. What else? I had made a list. I think that was it. Was flexi foam. Oh, or even I've done this with in the past with some in the hoop projects. Is I actually used a piece of cutaway stabilizer to give it some stiffness in the middle, and then I trimmed the cutaway stabilizer like an applique, and it still did the stitching around it so you couldn't see it when it was done, because the rest of it is all wash away. So those are some options for you if you want to give your clovers a little bit more structure. Is SF101, batting, flexi foam, or even cutaway stabilizer. All right, let's see. I see Kay had a question. Oh, going back to the PE900 we talked about. Okay, so Carla said she would love PE900 tutorials. Kay says, what's the largest embroidery frame on the PE900? And that is, it is 5x7. So it's the same as the machine I'm using today. It just has a couple little upgrade features, like cutting jump stitches and wireless capabilities. But the actual embroidery field stays the same. It's 5x12. And then they have an optional, no, I said 5x7. And they have an optional 5x12 multi-positionable hoop that I have somewhere. Here's the grid for it. But that's a whole another thing where you can embroider something bigger, but you're doing it in two hoopings. But the hoop helps you keep everything straight so that it's not crooked when you're done with the project. And I have some videos on how to use that hoop on my YouTube channel. Okay. All right, so that is for what I'd call the outer clover and the back. We can use shape flex or cutaway stabilizer or anything like that. Then the inner clover, I ironed Heat and Bond Light on it. This is what I use pretty much on the back of all of my applique fabric, just to keep it and adhere it to the fabric that it's on top of. And you can buy a small roll of Heat and Bond or invest in a big one. But it's like paper on one side and textured shiny on the other. And it creates essentially a double-sided adhesive so that I ironed it onto the back of my applique fabric. You peel the paper off, and so now you see it's all shiny, it's on there. And now I can iron this fabric on something else and turns it into that double-sided adhesive. All right, so then other things we need are like applique scissors to trim things out. You're going to need your thread color of choice. I have green. And something I did forget, I think, to put on the Sip and Stitch homepage was for the last step, you're going to want to wind a bobbin with the same color of your top thread. So normally I use just white bobbin thread, 90 weight, for all of my stitching. But the last step, so that your bobbin thread matches your top thread, wind a bobbin with the same color so that you get this really pretty finished look when you're done. And it doesn't look like this, because this is the one I messed up. And you see how it's white on the back. I forgot to change my bobbin before I did this one. So we see the green and then the white on the back. That's not what we want. We want it green all the way around. So wind yourself a bobbin. I'm hoping this one is enough to finish one clover. We're going to see. I'm going to play chicken with the bobbin. And then you can get some ribbon. With these little almost like buttonholes they have on the side, I just used a seam ripper to kind of rip a hole in there, or you can also use your applique scissors to get a hole. This is just enough to put the ribbon in. All right, so let's get started. grab your 5x7 hoop and your wash away stabilizer if you have it, 2 layers. If not, you can use tearaway. And you are just going to load the design onto your machine. And the first step is going to show us where to put the outer clover design. So let's go over to the machine. And here's my PE800. I see someone asked, does it have the same hoops? I'm assuming it does, but until I get one, I don't know for sure. I'm assuming it does because the 770 had the same hoops. So these machines are different from my bigger machines in that they have a bracket system for the hoop, where my bigger machines have a slide-on hoop. So like this has to fit in a bracket, and I always double check and make sure that it is clipped on securely, because there's been times where like it wasn't clipped on securely, and while I was in the middle of stitching, the hoop popped off of the arm. So make sure it's on there good. And with flatbed machines, I always like to use can't see, but this is a thread stand, vertical thread stand. And so I can put it through here. I have it stand in here, and then I feed the thread directly here instead of using the built-in spool holder. I have always had tension issues when I've used this, so I prefer a vertical thread stand. Just a heads up, if you are having tension issues or your thread is constantly breaking or breaking your needle, it may simply just be because of this. So let me go ahead and thread my machine with my green. Okay, and I know this will be something else to see if the 900 is different. With this machine, I have messed up. Where is my thread cutter? There it is. Sorry. I have messed up my automatic needle threader because I always forget to put the presser foot down before I thread my needle. So just push this lever, and now my needle is threaded. I usually just have to pull on there. There we go. So now it is threaded. Let me push this back up just to do all the rest of our steps. Okay, so I have my USB stick plugged in with the design. So I'm going to press USB. And this is going to show me little pictures of everything that's on there. And I'm going to use these arrow keys to navigate to my Clover, which I think is at the end. Yep, there it is right there. I'm going to hit set. And this is your options to edit. We don't need to edit anything. While this is stitching though, I am going to take you back to my computer and show you if you would like to personalize this Clover. You can do so in Embrilliance Essentials before you start stitching. So if you would like to learn that, just watch. I'm going to go ahead and get started stitching this one, and I'm going to show you how we would do it on the computer, and then I'll show you what would be different when you're stitching. All right, I'm going to hit End Edit, Embroidery. Okay, so it's ready to go now. And the first step is going to be the placement stitch to show me where to put my background Clover fabric. So I'm going to lower the presser foot. My light turns green and go. All right. Connie says she loves her PE800. She's not looking to upgrade, but she loved the feature of cutting a jump stitch and wireless. Yes, it is a beautiful thing to have. Oh, I don't think I have my hoop pressed down good enough. I noticed it jumping right here. That's why. Okay, it's going to stop. I'm going to go ahead and take this hoop off. And raise the presser foot. I don't have this pushed down enough. It's not. There we go. make sure it's really flush. I had a little bounce in action right here because of that. All right. Now, while this is off, I'm going to go ahead and take it over here. And I can use this now as a guide to how big of a piece of fabric I need to cut. So I have this fabric already stabilized extra with that Pellon SF101. And this is the part where if you wanted it to be a little bit more structured, you can take just a piece of cutaway stabilizer and just put it underneath it. Let's see, this piece is just barely big enough. And I would do this, both of these things there, cover it up, stitch it, and I would trim both my fabric and this cutaway stabilizer as an applique. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that just so y'all can see that process. But you need a piece just a little bit bigger than your Clover. I always save all my scraps of stabilizer. I get very excited when they're like, yes, I can use it now. Got it. Okay. And then the same thing for the Clover, the fabric. Let me get my bigger scissors. And okay. So I put cutaway stabilizer on top and then my background fabric. And usually this can just stay like this. You shouldn't have to tape it or secure it in place. It should just stay. If you're worried about anything moving, that's when I'd use some kind of stiletto and, you know, maybe hold things in place while it's stitching. Never put your finger in there to hold things in place. All right. Let's go back to the machine. Okay, double check. Everything's on there good. Lower and go. All right, I see some questions. Okay, Sandra, where do you find the 90 weight bobbin thread? She's looked at some brands and they don't say the weight. I have a link to the ones that I buy from Amazon in the description box and on that Sip and Stitch homepage I showed you a little while ago. I've purchased a big old box from, I think is Bro Thread makes it. And it is style A 90 weight bobbin thread, pre-wound, and it comes in a box of like 140 something, I believe. So that is in the description, the ones I buy. I have also purchased just 90 weight bobbin thread in a spool and wound my own bobbins. But when I finally did buy the pre-wound ones, I will not go back. I love pre-wound bobbins. They are the best thing since an automatic needle threader. All right, so we have our Clover outline. So let's go back here. And this is when you're going to use your applique scissors. The easier thing will be to just lift the fabric for the Clover bit first, trim that, and then go trim the cutaway stabilizer after, so it's not so thick. So you're just trying to trim as close to that stitch line as possible without snipping it. But if you do snip it, it's not a big deal. It's all going to get reinforced and covered back up with that satin stitch at the end. But you want to get as close as you can, because if you don't, it might be poking outside of the satin stitch when you're done. Okay. Oh, Marissa says she's loving all the banners on Big Dreams Embroidery's website. She's already got 2 of them in her basket. Yep. You sound just like me. I have a shopping problem. Okay. There's the Clover. And now I'm going to trim the cutaway stabilizers same way. Just trying to get it as close to that stitch line as possible. And when it comes to applique, I know when you first start, you're like, oh, I can't cut that good. The more you do it, the better you get at it, the more you practice. So just keep practicing. This is something I tell. So I have a whole course, like a beginner machine embroidery course that teaches you everything. I wish someone would have taught me when I first got my embroidery machine. And one of the things we do in our applique class is I have a practice design set for them just to stitch out all different kinds of shapes of appliques on some stabilizer and just practice trimming. Because the more you do it, the better you get at it. Okay, almost done. All right, let's see. Question. So Edna says, this is a great suggestion. Can these be pre-cut with a scan and cut? They absolutely can. If you have a Brother scan and cut or even a Silhouette cutting machine. Now, a Cricut I don't know as much about, but definitely the scan and cut and a Silhouette, you can, with the scan and cut, it's very easy. You open your embroidery design in it and you take the placement stitch of your embroidery design to make your cut line, and you can actually make it just a smidge smaller than your placement cut line, and it will cut out your applique pieces to fit perfectly. So you would go and stitch your placement stitch, have your pre-cut applique, and just place it right in the lines, and maybe use some spray adhesive to keep it right in place, and then go and stitch right on top of it. So you could do that with that cutaway stabilizer and this background fabric as well. Okay, yay. So as Renee says, she cuts hers with a Cricut. My question with a Cricut, because I know with Brother Scan and Cut, you can open up embroidery designs. With Silhouette, if you purchase the Silhouette Studio Business Edition, you can open up PES designs and create the cut line with the placement stitch. How do you get an embroidery design with Cricut Design Space to recognize the embroidery design and get the cut line? Tell me what you do, Renee. Because I've heard a couple things. I think I've heard some people say they have Silhouette Studio Business Edition, just the software, even though they don't have a Silhouette, use that and then send it to the Cricut by an SVG file. Lori Noonmaker, okay, has a tutorial. Okay, yeah, I know Lori. All right, I'll go look and see what she does. She might do the business edition thing. I don't remember. Okay, so we have this all done, and we can hook it back on. Make sure it's in there good. Lower our presser foot, and our next is going to be our placement stitch for the inner part of the Clover, which I'm going to use this fabric. I already got the Heat and Bond light on the back. I'm going to go ahead and warm up my little mini iron because I do like to iron it in the hoop. before it does that final satin stitch. Oh, and Embrilliance. I'm so silly. Yes, you can create an SVG file in Embrilliance Essentials. That's what I forgot. I knew that. Okay. I forgot all about that. All right, I'm going to open. I'm trying to cut this little tail right here. Okay. Now I'm going to lay my fabric I want for the inner part. I'm just laying it in here. I already got heat and bond light on the back, and I'm just going to cut out of this big piece when I'm done. Okay. Connie, you are not the only one. I have a scan and cut still in the box. I have not opened for a very long time. And I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I don't. But maybe I might think about it with doing that oh so delightful quilt, because all Kimberbell designs come with the SVG files with the embroidery design. So they give you everything you need to go ahead and cut it out if you want to. So that's really nice. Okay, back here. All right, so here's our inner part of our 4-leaf clover. You could see the stitching. Yeah. So I'm just going to trim this out just like I did the other ones. Again, as close to that stitch line as possible. And we're going to have that really pretty satin stitch is going to go cover up the raw edge of this fabric. All right, almost done. All right, what's Lori saying? So excited to catch a live, usually having to work and watch taped episodes. Yay for snow days. Yay, Lori. I was kind of hoping we would get another snow day, but we didn't. So I live like almost at the bottom of Louisiana, and it does not snow here. That is not a common thing. Once every like 10 years, it might sprinkle. But in January, we had like 10 inches of snow, and it was amazing. And it went away, 2-3 days later. It was like it never existed, which I appreciated because I probably wouldn't want it to stay for an extended amount of time. But I loved it. And then we're having a cold spell right now where it is actually freezing or 30 degrees. And I was like, oh, it would be nice if it snowed again, but it didn't. It's just cold. So there is our pretty inner piece here. Now, the next steps are going to be those pretty satin stitches. And those are going to take a while to stitch. But while that's stitching, I'm going to show you in Embrilliance how you can personalize this or add some lettering to it if you wanted to. And this would actually be the step where you'd want to stitch that. You want to, after you finish your inner applique piece, this is when you would want to stitch any lettering or anything else design that you'd want now, and then finish these outer edges, which will involve adding the backing, and it will cover up whatever stitching you have here from your design. It will get covered up so that it won't be seen. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Also, with heat and bond light on appliques, I always like to iron it while it's in the hoop before we get to that step of the satin outline. I like to always adhere it there. first. All right, so this is going to go back on the machine. And the satin for the inner clover is first, and that you can still use your white bobbin thread. You don't need to worry about the green bobbin thread until the last satin stitch steps. So we're going to lower this. We're going to go. This is going to take a minute. So while that is happening, let's see how to do this. Let me pull up Embrilliance on my computer, and then I'm going to show you my computer screen. And I could show you how to personalize it. Now, while I have it on the computer screen, though, I can't see any comments that you might have. So I've opened up Embrilliance Essentials. If you have Embrilliance Essentials and you are not great at using it, you've done maybe a couple things with it, but you'd like to really learn all the aspects of it, I do have an online course called Embroidery Essentials, and it teaches you everything about Embrilliance Essentials. And this is actually one of the lessons in the course is what I'm about to show you now. So here is our Clover banner. And like I said, when you unzip it and you open it, it comes in 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, and then it has instructions. So I'm going to open up the 5-inch. I have my computer set up to where if I double click this, it will automatically open, or you can drag it and drop it, and then it will open it for you. So here's the design. And here in the objects panel, I can expand it and I can see every single step of the design. And so this is something I always like to do before I stitch something so that I can really like investigate, like, okay, these two are the same exact step with different colors. That means this is a placement step and this is a tack down step. Same here. That's placement step, tack down step. Then the satin. Then this is a placement step for the back. Then the satin for the outline. And then the little buttonholes so that you can run ribbon through them. Where you are going to want to add your personalization is going to be either after step 4 or after step 5. It really doesn't matter because this step should not interfere at all with your design or, it being seen on the back. It just has to be before step 6 because step 6 is when you're adding your back fabric or right after. So first what we would do is add the design that we wanted. And you can do that just like I showed. If you have an actual picture, a design, you find it on your computer, you drag and drop it in. And it will add it. Or what I'm thinking, it would be really cute to have lettering in each clover. Like each clover have a different letter. Like if we wanted to spell out the word lucky, I would go to my lettering tool. I would just put a capital L, enter. And then I would go and look through all of my BX fonts that I have installed on my computer and say if I wanted, if I liked this font, I can do that. And it would go right on top of my applique little clover that's in the middle. Now, one thing I'm looking at with the fabric choices I made, because it's patterned and a bit busy, something like this might actually get lost in it. So what would be even better is if it was a little applique letter. And so I have applique BX fonts. That one's way too big though. I need to find little applique BX fonts. This one's 2 inches. This might work. So this, if we look at it, it actually doesn't show the steps, but if we go to the stitch simulator, stitch, 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 it's all the way at the end because I haven't fixed the step yet.
There we go. So I see the outline for the L, that's the placement, then the tack down for the L, and then it does a satin stitch around the L, and then it does even a cute little bean stitch decorative in the satin stitch for the L. So then my L could be a whole nother color piece of fabric, and that would stand out better with my particular project because I have a busy pattern piece on the inside. So another thing is maybe I would switch it. I would do the solid green in the middle, do the pattern plaid on the outside, and then I can just do a regular L in the middle and spell out lucky if I wanted to. So once you pick your letter, your font, all that good stuff, it automatically centers it for you. So you could leave that alone, really. And now is where you want to drag it and put it at the right step. So I want it to be in between steps after step 5. So I'm gonna drag it, and you see where I got a blue line in between steps 5 and 6. I'm gonna drop it there. Now when I do that, it separated the clover now into, now I got 3 designs essentially, but that's okay. It's all there and it's in the order I want. The last thing you need to check before you save this and send it to your machine is something in your preference window. So click your preference window and click on jumps and overlaps. One thing you do not want when you're doing in the hoop projects and you make modifications to them is you do not want to remove overlaps when saving stitch files. This means when you have this checked, it will automatically remove hidden stitches from your design when you save it without you even clicking the remove hidden stitches button. It'll do it automatically, which is nice in some cases. But when it is in the hoop design or an applique design, you don't want that, because if you look at these steps, these stitches are right on top of each other. And so you don't want the program to automatically remove hidden stitches, because it will essentially erase this whole step right here. So in your preference window, in jumps and overlaps, make sure this is not checked, and then hit apply and OK. And now you can save this as a stitch file to your computer or your USB and send that over to your machine. Or if you have a wireless machine, go to utility and click Wi-Fi brother to baby lock. If y'all are both on the same Wi-Fi network, you should, your computer and your machine, it should send over perfectly. All right, so that is my little Embrilliance lesson of the day. Let me know if you have any questions. I could not see anything in the comments while I was stitching that, while I was showing you that. So we just finished with the satin stitch around the applique piece. So this is when you would stitch, if I wanted to stitch my L, I would stitch it now and have that step in there. Now, the next step is we are going to cover up the back of this with another piece of fabric so that we get that finished look when we're done. So take this off, go over, and you want to turn your hoop over. We got some threads happening here. I'm just going to trim them so that they don't poke out this way when we're done. But if they do, they'll get trimmed after. Now, when you turn this hoop over, you don't want to put too much pressure on it from this direction, because you can cause your hoop to pop out. So just turn it upside down. Now grab the fabric that you want for the back. And this is also your option. If you want to add Pellon SF101, you can do that to the back of here. I don't think I did it on any of mine. So I will just, because I have it on the front and I have that cutaway stabilizer, I think that's enough structure for my clover. So I am just cutting a piece that is bigger. Sorry if y'all hear my dog crying. He does not like it when I come in here and shut the door. But I have to, because if not, he'll just come in here and bark, and then the cat will come in here and stand right in front of the embroidery machine, because that's what he likes to do.
Fabric scissors are not cutting, which is not a good sign. Okay. So here is my back fabric that I decided to put on the back of all of mine, just to do something fun and make an option to turn it around maybe later. So lay that on there, and then you can use a low adhesive tape, masking tape, paper, medical tape, or I have Kimberbell embroidery tape. And I lay it on there. I don't push on it too much though. Should probably use a wider piece. There we go. Knowing my luck, these will fold down. So you want to do it to where I usually don't have to do the sides, but as long as I do the top and the bottom good, that's it. Now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to rub to make sure that tape is keeping my fabric in place like I want. Okay. And so you just want to pay attention and make sure when you're putting your hoop back on your machine, this is not folding down or wrinkling up or anything. Okay. You want to make sure it's staying in place. And I did put the tape where the needle is not going to hit it. However, with these low tack tapes, I have sewn through them before and it was okay. However, when I'm doing this quilt project, and when it goes, the paper medical tape that I purchased, that actually did gum up my needle when it was done. The Kimberbell tape did not gum up my needles. I was able to sew through it repeatedly. So if you're using the paper medical tape, keep it out of the way where the needle doesn't go through it. Okay, back to the machine. And now it's going to do the same outline stitch it did at the beginning, and that is going to tack down your back fabric. So that is connected, and then we'll trim it just like an applique. Hi, Eartha and Norma. Let's see, designs by Christina. So with this project, I'm using a 5x7 hoop right now. However, the design comes in a 4-inch option, so you can make it with a 4x4 hoop as well. And there's also a 6-inch option if you have a 6x10 hoop. So they have 3 different sizes you can choose from to make this design, depending on what's the biggest hoop comes with your machine. All right, now we're going to take this off. Okay, and now my fabric is hooked to the back, and I can go trim it. So turn my hoop over. I could take this tape off. I like to stick it to the end of my craft table and use it again. So like, especially if I'm going to be doing, 6 or 7 of these, I can save this tape and use it a few times for tacking down my back fabric in place. All right, and I trim this little knot here, and I'm going to teach you how to prevent that on the back when we do the final step. Okay, so now we're just trimming. Again, as close to that stitch line as you can get. And just make sure you're not putting any pressure, like pushing down on the back of this hoop, because you don't want to force it to become unhooped while you're doing this. My dog. Go, Ozzy, go. Go. He just needs encouragement sometimes. Okay. So trimming this. So I see my friend Norma's here. Norma, do you already have the Oh So Delightful Kimberbell quilts? Was that something you have already done before? If not, you want to do it with me? Norma makes real quilts, but I don't know if she's made a full Kimberbell quilt before. Also, I saw you on Sewing Machines Plus. You went for that stitch and switch, I think, over there. That looked amazing. I can't wait to hear about that the next time we have a VIP. I think we have a VIP class next week. I want to hear all about those fancy machines you played with. The Sewing Machines Plus in San Diego did a thing where they had the top of the line machine for like, was it like 6 different brands, I think, Norma? And people got to go and stitch a project on each machine. And they had all these beautiful in the hoop projects from Embroidery Garden. And that looked like such a fun event. And I saw Norma went to it. Okay, so you saw I trimmed the back of this, and I just used my little lint roller to grab all the little pieces of fabric. But I have this all trimmed. And so now we're ready for the final steps of that outer satin edge and the little buttonholes. This is when you want to change your bobbin. Okay, Norma said she was most impressed with the Pfaff machine. Ooh, that sounds cool. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so now I am taking my normal white 90 weight embroidery bobbin out. I like to stick it up here so I don't lose it. And I have a bobbin that I wound with my green thread, you know, up here using the bobbin winder. And now I have my normal 40 weight embroidery thread there. And we are all going to keep our fingers crossed that I have enough to finish this without having to wind it again. You do want to, it'd be much preferable to not have to change the bobbin in the middle of this last stitch. If it happens, it's not the end of the world, but it is preferable for it to not happen. Okay, so my bobbin is in, my hoop is in, my green thread is there. One step I like to do before starting the last step of it in the hoop project to prevent that nest of thread happening on the back is I hold my upper thread, I press the needle down button, press it again, needle up, and I pull, and I should pull my bobbin thread up from it. So I was able to do that. So now I have my green bobbin thread coming up and my top green thread. And what I'm going to do is hold both of those out of the way, lower my presser foot. I'm going to hold these. I'm going to start stitching. And then when it moves a little bit, I'm going to pause it, pressing that green button. And I will trim these tails that are poking up. Ta-da, like that. Now we can let it do its thing. Okay, so this is pretty much the final step of the project. It does take a while to stitch, probably about 5 minutes, where it's going to do that pretty satin edge all around. And then the buttonholes are separate, a separate step. So if you did want to change your thread color for that, you could. I'm just going to leave it all green. So that it'll just all be the same color. All right, so that is stitching. Okay, so Maggie has a question, and yes, it is definitely harder. So do I do the same process that I just showed you with pulling the bobbin thread up through the top on a multi-needle machine? Yes. However, not all multi-needle machines have a needle down button. So I literally stand by the machine and I go boop, boop, and I just do it to where it goes down and stops again. So like I don't think any of my multi, I'm looking at them right now to see if they have a button. Go, Ozzy. No. Even my single needle PR1X doesn't have a needle down button. So my solution for that is pressing the start button and pressing it almost immediately after so that the needle does go down and just comes right back up. Let's see. Oh no, Anne said she kept thinking her dog was barking. No, that's mine. Oh, Norma has a really good suggestion. So it says patta, but she means pads. She uses hoop pads to prevent pressure. And they have some at Embroidery Garden, and I think Dime has them. And well, here she has it here. And they look just like my wool pressing mat, but they are actually the size, they cut out perfectly to fit in the different hoop sizes. So they have one for a 4x4 hoop, they have one for a 5x7, 6x10, and so on. So that the little wool pressing mat fits perfectly in the hoop. So like, let me grab, here's my 4x4 as an option. So what happens is, oh, the bobbin's already out, man. Okay, so what happens is when you turn it over, you put it on that pressing pad, but it fits perfectly so that now you can put pressure on the back because you have this pushing up from here. Whereas like right now, this bit, it's like at an angle. So if I put too much pressure, this will still pop out. But with those pressing pads, it doesn't. Oh goodness, someone rang the doorbell. Now the dog is really upset. Okay, so my bobbin thread ran out. I really under predicted how soon that was going to go out. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit cut threads, the cut button here. OK. Raise my presser foot. Let me look at it. It still has a decent amount. It doesn't have much. Okay. Has a little bit left. I'm going to go ahead and pull it all out. I think we could have gotten a little bit further, but definitely not enough that needs to be. Okay. Pulled it all out. Got my bobbin. Going to put it up here. And I'm going to cut this. And now I'm going to have it go to the bobbin path. So it has numbers and it shows me exactly what to do. So it's got to go under this tension disc here. So make sure it goes under that well. And then what I do is I wrap it around about 4 or 5 times. And then they have a little built-in thread cutter. Boop. And then you're going to push this over here. And my light turns orange. And that's for the bobbin. So I press it. And now it's winding it. And I'm going to go ahead and fill that sucker up because I have several more of these clovers to make. Sometimes when I'm doing a project and it's just one thing I'm making, I won't fill it up all the way just because I don't know if I'm going to use it again. So I'll just fill it up enough for what I think I need for the project. But like in this case, I'm probably going to have to refill it several times to complete all of the clovers I want to make. But I'm running low on thread. Let me stop. Okay, my thread spool is getting very low. All right, so I am going to cut it. Knock it that way, pull it out. Now I have my bobbin, put it in going counterclockwise, pull it along the thread path and cut. Okay, now take this out the bobbin thread path and go back to the regular thread path. Okay, and this is ready. Okay, before we do this, I want you
to back up about 20 or 30 stitches. This, whenever I have a problem where my bobbin thread runs out, no matter what the project is, I always like to overlap stitching. So I cut the thread here. And so I want to back up so that I have that overlap to help lock in those stitches of where I cut it here and where I start there. So you press the needle plus minus button, and I can hit -10. I'll go ahead and press it 3 times, about 30 stitches. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna lower my presser foot. I still have to thread my needle. Now it is threaded. Okay, if I want to prevent the knot on the back, I'm gonna do the needle down, needle up. And I see my bobbin thread. And I do want I need this thread to go through the presser foot to do that, right? Okay. And start stitching. Let's go a little further. And then I'll trim that. So I should have known that was going to happen. But I'll just leave that there and I'll trim it when it's done. So now we're back on track with a nice full green bobbin. Okie dokie. Okay. So yeah, before that happened, we were talking about the pressing pads. I have not gotten those. I should put that on my wish list for myself. All I need is an email about a sale, and that's usually what pushes me over the edge to buy things like that quilt I got from Kimberbell. And I wanted to tell you, if I'm really hoping that this goes as well as I see it in my head, because if so, we're going to do another one right after, because I don't know where it is. It's in another room. But I also purchased a while back, same thing, deal of the week. Kimberbell had the Halloween quilt. What is it called? The I forget. I think Candy Corn Quilt Shop. Yeah, that's what it's called. Super adorable Halloween quilts. And they had the same deal where you got all the embroidery designs, all the quilting designs, the embellishment kit, and even I think it also came with batting, quilt batting, for the same price. And I bought that, and then I went on Etsy and I found the fabric kit and I bought that. So I have everything to do that quilt. So if this Oh So Delightful quilt goes well and we get the hang of it, maybe right after I'll do Candy Corn Quilt Shop, and then it will be done by Halloween so I can hang it up. All right. Oh yeah, Marissa, this is a good idea. So with all these banner options that they have on Big Dreams Embroidery website, you can make a graduation banner when her grandsons graduate. Congratulations to them. That's awesome. All right. Monica says, what type of embroidery scissors am I using? These are called, let me move you over here. These are embroidery snips. They are like tweezers, but they have a curved blade going up, and they're great if you're left-handed or right-handed. I have a couple different pairs. This pair actually came with this set I got. If you could tell, I'm a fan of Kimberbell. This came with this set. So it came with these scissors. I haven't even used these, but these are cool. It came with tweezers, and it came with duckbill scissors. I also have another pair I use a lot, but I think I need to get a new one now because they're not as sharp as they used to be. But I've had it for years. This is made by Havels, Havels, and I got it on sewingmachinesplus.com. So both of these essentially are the same. This came with a set, and this you could just buy by itself. And I think the link on my website is to this one, so you could buy it by itself. But if you want the set, Sewing Machines Plus also has this as well. I have to show y'all my new thing I got. I'm very excited about. I went to Home Goods and they had this cute little turntable organizer. And I had all these previously like in a basket on my table, or I have this contraption that you can stick things in, but I found like I couldn't put everything in here, and it ended up things ended up falling over if it was too heavy. And then my basket was just a hot mess. But this came with 4 compartments, and I love it because I do all my scissors in here. So I have another pair of snips too. These are Tula pink ones, but they have a hooked edge, which I like, but they're not curved up. But I think she makes a pair that curves up, but I love the rainbow metal. And these are my vinyl cutting scissors. Then I have a section for pens and pencils. Then I have a section for other tools. So I have like bag turner, seam roller, hemostat, seam ripper. This is my vinyl tool, a little tiny ruler. And then I have a section for the random pins, like fabric marking pen, Tide pen. What are these? This is just a water pen. And then this one's that folding pen for when I do quilting in the hoop. And then I kind of stuck my clips on it. And this is for my clear blue tiles. I stuck that in there too. But I'm loving this. I keep it on my table over here and I can just turn it. And I know each section has a purpose, including my favorite scissors. All right. Yay, no problem, Karen. She said, thank you for all the ideas. I love when other people give me ideas, and I love sharing my ideas with other people. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so Diane knows she loves those. I am a huge fan of the Havel scissors. I think I've had mine for goodness, at least 5 years, I think. And I need to either sharpen them if they can be sharpened, or just go ahead and grab another pair. Because I like to have one I have several embroidery machines, and I like to have one at each embroidery machine because they come in great for just snipping thread tails or whatever the case may be. You know, even if you're not doing an applique project, I'm always using them. All right, so we just had the finished outline around the edge, and the last step is the buttonholes. So I'm going to do my same trick with the thread, pulling the bobbin thread. For some reason, this didn't come out. There we go. It didn't cut, I guess. Let me cut it. Okay, so I'm going to pull, needle down, needle up, and why do I have 2 threads? Okay, let me undo this. I see this is the tail where my bobbin ran out. And this is, I think, where it didn't cut. From that. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, holding my thread, needle down, needle up. Okay, now I have my bobbin thread. And press your foot down. And go ahead and start stitching while holding that. Okay, pause it. I can't see.
I'm just going to leave it on the side because I can't see. All right, good. Okay, so now we got our buttonhole. And we still have the green thread in the bobbin so that your finished buttonholes look like this on the back. Sorry, pointing it in the wrong direction. Your finished buttonholes are going to look like this on the back. So if you decide to turn your banner around, you have finished look on the back as well. And so my machine does not cut jump stitches. So it is going to jump from here to here, and there will be a stitch along with it. When doing in the hoop projects, this is actually helpful because on a machine that doesn't cut jump stitches, you're starting over again. So you might get that little knot on the back. You can always pause your machine or turn off jump stitches for that point if you want. To prevent the knot on the back between the jumps. Okay. Oh, no problem. So Dee says, glad I was showing all her tools. Yeah, I can show you all the tools. Just let me know what you have questions about. I love all the things that help me with embroidery. Okay, Norma says, when do I plan to start the full project? So I ordered my stuff from Kimberbell, I think Wednesday. And I don't know, I think it might come in next week. But then literally right before we started this live video, I was looking on Etsy because at first I was like, I'm not going to worry about a fabric kit. I'm going to use the fabric I have here in my room. And then I started looking like more closely at the fabric kit. And I was like, oh, I really like all the fabric in the fabric kit. It's going to take me twice as long to figure out this project if, going and picking the fabric for each block. So I broke down and I went on Etsy and I found a fabric kit. So that is predicted to get delivered, I think, by March 6th, I think was the latest. Like it could be as early as next Friday, but as late as the week after. And because we have Mardi Gras here and the mail is not going to run, at least on Mardi Gras Day, I think it's probably the only day it won't run. I don't know if I'm going to get it in time to start the first week in March. So it might have to start the second week in March. So that's going to, depend on when I get my stuff in and then also give time for other people to get their stuff in. So we'll say the second week in March at the earliest, but maybe even push it off to the third week just to give everyone a little bit more time. Diane has a good tip from me. Did I try sharpening them with steel wool? No, I had not. And my husband has like a knife sharpening tool. I probably should ask him. All right. Okay. So the project is done. Look how pretty it is. So now I am just cleaning up those stitches. So I had that tail. I have this jump stitch. Turn over the back. I got some more tails, but they're not knots. They're just tails, which is nice. Oh, this one got caught up underneath all this. Oh, yeah, you pulled out. Okay. This is the tail from when I had to change my bobbin, but it's good. And then this is the jump stitch from the back. Okay, so all pretty and clean, no knots, no nests, and no tails. So now we can take it out of the hoop. Oh, Ozzy said again. Let's see. Go, Ozzy. Go. 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 He's scared of the floor. There he goes. Have you ever met a dog or heard of a dog that is scared to walk on the floor? I think I might have the only one. He is very what's the word? Uh, fond of the rugs in the house. So he likes to walk on the rugs, and then when he's got to travel from one place to the next, like he's in what the girls' playroom, and he wants to go in Abigail's room, and he's scared to walk from the rug in the playroom to the rug in Abigail's room. So he just sits there and he cries until he gets some encouragement. Only my dog. All right, so we've taken it out the hoop. Remember, we have wash away stabilizer. So this doesn't really tear super easy or nice. It's hard. So what I do is I take my scissors and I just go and cut around it. I don't get close to the stitches. I don't want to snip them on accident, but I just go and cut around it because this stuff gets really sticky and gooey when it's wet. So I don't want to have any more of it than I need to have. So I just go and cut around it, and then we're going to wet the edges and it's going to dissolve. Like that. Okay. So now you have it. It's just going all the way around it. Okay. And lastly, it works best if you go to your sink and just let the running water hit the edges and rub it. But because that's too hard to bring my camera to, I got a bowl of water and I'm just going to dip it. And as I dip it, I just rub it and I even pull at it with my fingernails. And it kind of just, you see that? It just kind of pulls away. And I just leave it in the water. You could dunk this whole thing in the water if you want to, but I don't want to wait for it to dry because it takes forever for the whole thing to dry. So I'd rather just wet the edges and not worry about the rest that's on the inside. But if you have time and you don't, you're not worried, you have time to let it dry and everything, you could dunk the whole thing and let all the stabilizer melt away. Ooh, yay. Bird dog. I like that name. She uses a Q-tip. Even better. I'm going to go grab a Q-tip. Help my girl's bathroom real quick. They have one left in the container. Okay, Q-tip. I still feel like I got to pull it in the creases there. There we go. So yeah, you can, while it's in the water, it works. The Q-tip bit works well. Love it. But it does get really sticky and gooey, which is why I try to have as little of it as possible once I wet it. Okay. Connie says she cuts the wash away close to the satin and she uses a wet Q-tip to melt the rest of the way. Yes. Okay. So I got most of it. And then yes, this is when just the wet Q-tip, get like those little pieces in the creases right here to go away. Yay. So now we have a beautiful clean edge with no pieces of stabilizer poking out, so that I just find it gives it a much nicer finished look. And then the last step would be, let me throw this away, making your holes so that your ribbon can go through. And you could probably get this with these same applique scissors, the snips that I use, but I'm just gonna use my seam ripper to carefully get right in there. And then just go right underneath that last stitch of that satin column at the top right there, so that we have this slit now created so that your ribbon can go through. There we go. And now I can cut my ribbon. Let's see. Actually, let me cut some more just so I have it. I think I measured it when I did it. What I did, I cut, it's like 15 inches. And now I can tie these two together. I'll go in up in here. And there's lots of ways you could do this if you wanted it to where it ran. You can put it going this way through, and then the back of the ribbon runs on the back of here and not have bows. So then you can spread them out a little bit more. But I like the bows and just connecting each one. Like this. And then tie a knot. Maybe spread them out a little bit more. And then a bow. The example picture on the Big Dreams Embroidery website where you got the design from, they had really nice bows. I can't tie bows like that. And they used a different ribbon though. They used the satin ribbon, I think will make a nicer bow. I saw this green ribbon at Hobby Lobby and I liked it. Anyway, y'all get the idea. So that you can just make some bows tying the two pieces together and then just make it go as long as you want. All right. Oh yeah, Linda has a good tip too. She uses a little paintbrush instead of a Q-tip. Yay, Patty said, so cute. She put several of the other banners and saved them for later. Yay. All right, guys, so let's see. I need another bow, but here we go. Isn't it cute? So this middle one, I got this fabric and it's cute. And I was thinking like for each one, I'll focus on something else to be right in the middle of the shamrock. So when I did the hat, it's like I could do the horseshoe, I could do the little cookies, or I could do another shamrock or something. So like for my other clovers that I make to match this one, I'll have like a different little piece in the middle. But that is it, guys. That is our project for February. So that y'all have time to make this and then hang it up in your house before St. Patrick's Day if you want to decorate. All kinds of cute. And then if you want, you could turn it around
and I would turn my bows around too and have it all going this way and have one solid piece. So lots of fun ways that you can make this and make it different, you know, have all kinds of fun things. And then lastly, if you missed it, you can watch it, the replay later, but we did go into Embrilliance and went over how to personalize the banner if you would like it to say lucky, or, you know, if you want to make 50 of them, happy St. Patrick's Day, however long you want it to be. You can put a different letter inside each shamrock or have some alternating cute little designs. Like, I'm sure the thing that comes right off the top of my head is Applique Alley. If y'all are familiar with them, they have those cute snack cake designs. And if you did a solid white shamrock inside of every other one, I'm sure they have cute little sketch embroidery designs for St. Patrick's Day that you can put inside, and that would be fun as well if you didn't want to do lettering. So lots of fun things that you can make with this banner. Yay! Dee says, thank you. Such a cute project. Hope everyone has a great day. Sorry, my microphone is trying to turn around on me. Okay. Hey, Joe. No worries. You can watch the replay. Yeah. So, yeah, with all of my YouTube videos, as soon as the live is over, the replay is available. Now, I did just hear something on Facebook yesterday that was very surprising. And I never got, I don't know how it's supposed to work. I never got a notice from Facebook. I saw someone else post about it, but apparently Facebook will be deleting videos that are longer than 30 days old. So usually you could go on my Facebook page and just keep scrolling and see all of my past sip and stitch videos, but apparently all of those are going to be deleted. So with that being the new standard on Facebook, you will be able to still see them all on YouTube. And that has also given me pause and thinking about, well, I should probably have those videos somewhere else as well. So I've always counted on YouTube for my free sip and stitch tutorials and other little videos that I do. Now, all of my online courses, all of my holiday workshops, my From Start to Stitch course, my Embrilliance Essentials course, my design organizer, embroidery design organizer, all of that is on my website. So that is not of any concern about things being deleted, because I pay to have those videos on my website at all times. And you have to have access. You have to be a student with a login and everything to be able to access those videos. But I do want to make sure all of my sip and stitch videos don't decide to get deleted one day. So I think I'm going to make it to where all of those will be on my website as well, just as a backup plan. So I'm sad that Facebook is doing this where they're going to be deleting videos, but at the same time, I'm glad it's being brought to my attention that I should have a backup plan and have my videos in more than one spot, which I do, but I don't always have my sip and stitch videos on my website. So I think I'm going to look into that now, but I do want to make sure that they're always there for you to go back and refer to. And as of right now, you can go to my website and they have all the past sip and stitch tutorials with like where you can read the directions for each one and then also watch the video replay, but it brings you to YouTube for that. So I might change that on my website just to make sure everything stays there. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed our February sip and stitch project of doing the St. Patty's Day banner. As always, all the info for this banner is on the Sip and Stitch homepage. And I will have a blog post to go with this tutorial probably next week with all the written instructions and pictures and things to go with it. Upcoming fun things that we mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you missed it, is we are going to do my first time doing a full sew along to a Kimberbell featured quilt. We're going to do the Oh So Delightful quilt. If you want to do this with me, I have a link down below to Kimberbell's website where I went and bought that quilt deal earlier this week. I think that sale is going to be over today or tomorrow. Today is what, February 21st, Friday.
tomorrow's Saturday, the 22nd. I would go check that out and catch the sale while it's still there if you'd like to do that with me. And then sign up for my email newsletter. I'll be sending out something once I have a game plan in place. I have all my materials and I set dates for our weekly sew along. I'll send out an email to see who's all interested in doing that with me. And then I'll just send those people emails every week when we do our new tutorial and give any new insight on what you need for the project or whatever. All of that's going to be free. It's all going to be on YouTube. But I'll have things on my website as well to go with each tutorial. And then the other fun thing we're going to do in March is a collaboration I have with Melissa at Designs by Little Bee, where we're going to be making this super cute in the hoop zippered bag that has a clear vinyl front. So it serves as like an ID pocket. And it has another pocket inside of it so you can store other cards or money in the back that can't be seen. And Melissa is making kits so that it comes with fabric and hardware and zipper and everything you need to make this little bag. She's going to be making kits for sale on her website so that you can go and buy the kit and then come watch the video when we do it in March. So stay tuned for more information on that. I'll be posting Melissa's link to buy the kit if you want it, and to buy the design, and then the date when we do the live tutorial together. That's going to be sometime in the middle of March. But that's it. We'll also have Sip and Stitch in March too. Our project for March is going to be a embroidered baby burp cloth. I have to think about it. But I want to make like a super cute baby burp cloth that's not just your standard one, but one that has some fabric over it and then maybe an applique. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. It may involve also using not only your embroidery machine, but also a sewing machine too. So I'm going to probably give you a few different options for our friends that have both. And then I'll show you things you can do if you only have an embroidery machine and not a sewing machine too. But that's going to be our March project, and it's going to be on March 21st. So same as a month, exactly a month away from today, on a Friday, March 21st at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. I wish Elise was here so she could be my little YouTuber. But thanks so much, and I hope to see y'all next time, and I hope to see you at the Oh So Delightful Sew Along. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments below. I admit I am terrible at answering YouTube comments lately. I'm trying to get back in the groove of being better about that. But if you have something you want to ask me and I haven't gotten back to you, email me. My email is hello@carlybell.com. I'm really good at answering my email. That's where I kind of get, I guess, overwhelmed because I'm so busy doing that I'm bad about answering YouTube comments. But if you have a question for me, you can always contact me through email. And I have also a contact me form on my website. If you just go to my website, and that will send me an email. So, all right. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. And if you celebrate Mardi Gras, I hope you have a happy Mardi Gras. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.